Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to our Shabbat evening service here at Temple Shalom Emeth. And I'd like to warm up with a couple of songs to get us into the spirit of Shabbat. We'll start off with a contemporary version of Shalom Aleichem. You'll find the words on page 627 in your Siddur. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeikem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, let's do another song called Shiru Ladonai. I think that's on page 648. And it means sing unto the Lord. Shir Hadash is another name for that song, and that's what it's called on page 648. Shiru Ladonai kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai shir hadash. Shiru Ladonai kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai shir hadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai shir hadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai shir hadash. I will sing a new song unto God.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm Rabbi Susan Abramson, also coming to you from the sanctuary of Temple Shalom Emeth in Burlington, Massachusetts. And it's we're fudging this a little bit for this Shabbat. We're actually videotaping this before the big snowstorm hits, when you'll probably be watching this on Friday. So it's just me and Ben here in the sanctuary, and we wanted to bring you a Shabbat service, despite the fact that on our actual Shabbat, nobody could safely drive here for services. So I hope you enjoy the service. I hope you're nice and safe at home and not traveling anywhere if you're on the East Coast. And so we're going to begin our service with a lighting of the Shabbat candles, which you may find on pages 120 and 121. Ben and I are playing all the parts this evening. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת. אמן, 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 אמן.
Now that we've welcomed the light of Shabbat into our lives and into our homes, we're going to continue by welcoming the Shabbat bride, which you may find on page 138. We're going to do verses 1, 4, 1, 5, and 9.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, שמו תפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך ומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. וחדודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה וצהולה, תוך אמוני סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה, וחדודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. וחדודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. פני שבת לקבלה.
And now that we've welcomed the Shabbat bride, we're going to continue with the next section of our service called the Shema Uvirchoteha, the Shema and its blessings, which we begin with the Baruch Hu on page 146. Please rise in body or spirit. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamavorach, Baruch Adonai Hamavorach, Leolam Va'ed.
Page 148. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim, B'chochma Poteach She'arim, Uvitvuna Meshane Itim, Umachalif et Hazmanim, Umsader et HaKochavim, B'mishmerotehem Barakia Kirtzono, Borei Yom V'Laila, Golel Or Mipnei Choshech, V'Choshech Mipnei Or, Uma'avir Yom Umevi Laila, Umavdil Ben Yom Uvein Laila, Adonai Tzavaot Shemo. El Chai V'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Ata Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Together on the top of page 149. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch Ata Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 150.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu lemadita, Otanu lemadita. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachvenu ufkumenu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ליאורך ימינו, ובהם נגד nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla. Yahvatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Ohev amo Yisrael.
Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Now we continue with the watchword of our Jewish faith, the Shema, on pages 152 and 153. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Now you may be seated, and please join me in the chanting of the V'ahavta on page 154. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'vetecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot ben enecha uchtavtam al mezuzot betecha u'visharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Together, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God, Adonai Elohechem, Emeth. Now we continue on page 158 with the singing of Mi Chamocha, the song the Israelites sang when they crossed the Red Sea to freedom from Pharaoh's grip.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי ענו ויאמרו, זה אלי ענו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praise to you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Now continue with the Hashkivenu prayer on page 160, asking God to create a shelter of peace around us.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ushmor tzeteinu L'chaim u'shalom me'ata v'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim.
Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael va'al Yerushalayim. Now we continue with Vishamru on page 162. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. Are we doing the Debbie Friedman?
Yeah.
Okay, so this week it was Debbie Friedman's birthday, the late Debbie Friedman, who composed so many of the songs that we sing during our service. So we're going to do this version in honor of her memory.
I was thinking also that one of the songs we've sung already tonight, the Ahavat Olam, is one of Debbie Friedman's melodies too. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam, berit olam b'ni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat Shabbat vayihi nafash Shabbat Shabbat vayihi nafash, oti le'olam, oti le'olam.
Now we continue with the next section of our service called the tefillah, which literally means the prayer, and it's the time during the service when we speak directly to God, and just remember that God is the God of our ancestors, the God who gives us strength, and the God who brings us peace. So please rise and body your spirit on page 164.
Anananananana Adonai. Anananananana Sfatai Tiftach. Ananananana Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Anananananana Adonai. Ananananana Fatai Tiftach. Ananananana Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Ananananana Adonai. Ananananana Fatai Tiftach. Ananananana Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Ananananana Adonai. Ananananana Fatai Tiftach. Ananananana Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Please turn to page 166. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'konei hakol, v'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, u'mevi geula livnei v'neihem, l'ma'an shemo b'yahava. Melech ozer, u'moshia u'magehin, Baruch atah Adonai, magehin, Avraham v'ezrat Sarah. Page 168. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaye hakol ata rav lehoshia. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamim rabim. Sohomech nohoflim verofei choholim, umatihir asurim, umkahayehim emunatoho, vishenei ahafar. Micha mocha ba'al gevurot, umido melach, melech memihit, umchayehi, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata lehachayot ha'akol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Page 170. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukedoshim b'chol yom yahalaluhu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. Now going to continue with the Shalom Rav prayer on page 178.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom ra al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom ra al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. V'tov be'enecha levarech et amcha Yisrael. B'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם.
Grant abundant peace to Israel, your people forever, for you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Now we continue with the Misha Berach, Get Well prayer on page 371. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill or who are in need of healing. This evening we think in particular of Alan Smilowitz, Benjamin Schwartz-Feit. We think also of all of those in Ukraine who are facing a horrible immediate future full of unknowns and possible hostility and maybe lots of people losing their lives. So our hearts go out to everybody in that country right now. And at this moment, if there are others you'd like us to keep in our hearts and our minds, we prepare to recite the Get Well prayer, the Misha Berach prayer. You may say their names aloud or in your hearts.
Barbara Boyle.
Barbara Boyle. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for all of their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen.
מי שברך אבותינו, מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu, מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Now we all not only think about all of those who need our support at this moment on Shabbat, we also think about all the blessings in our lives and everything that we're grateful for, and that's what God commands us to do on Shabbat, is to think about our blessings and to enjoy this day of the week as a day when we put our cares and worries aside. And so I just wanted to talk about a couple of things that to be grateful for. And one day this week it almost hit 70 degrees.
There you go.
And in February, that's pretty good. Even though the temperature right after that dropped, I think 40 degrees to the 30s, but for that brief moment, it was a glorious day this week. And we also I failed to mention before to think of all those who are suffering from COVID right now, but there are also all of those who have recovered from COVID, so we're grateful for that. We're also grateful that the numbers of people who are infected right now is coming way down, and we hope that continues, and it will continue if people continue to be safe and wear masks. A little plug in the middle of the service. I'm also grateful that and I'm going to be talking about this a little bit later, we just finished installing our new social hall floor, which has really transformed our social hall. So little by little, our whole building is really becoming a much more sophisticated, beautiful, spiritual place to be, and that's going to enrich our entire congregation. So for all of those reasons, and Ben, do you have anything that you're grateful for this week?
Well, everything's going well, and maybe a couple of weeks ago my son got his first college acceptance, so that gives us a little sense of relief. So yeah, things are going well.
Great. So I'm glad things are going well, and Ben's son Sam got his first college acceptance, the first of what I know are going to be many college acceptances. So for all of those and more, we continue with the Shehechianu prayer, thanking God for enabling us to reach this special moment.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh
We pause for a moment of silent prayer. And now we continue with the singing of Oseh Shalom, another song for peace, which you may find on page 180.
Oseh Shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Shabbat Shalom again, everybody, and I just wanted to talk for a minute or two about this week's Torah portion, which is called Vayakhel, which means, and he gathered. And Moses was told to gather together the Israelite community and say to them, first of all, that they are to observe Shabbat. On 6 days work may be done, but on the seventh day you shall have a Sabbath of complete rest. And then Moses continues further, which with one of my most favorite portions in the Torah. This is what the Lord has commanded. He told the Israelites, "Take from among you gifts to the Lord. Everyone whose heart so moves him shall bring them gifts for the Lord: gold, silver, and copper, blue, purple, and crimson yarns, fine linen and goat's hair, tanned ram skins, dolphin skins, and acacia wood, oil for lighting, spices for the anointing oil and for the aromatic incense, lapis lazuli and other stones for setting, for the ephod and the breastpiece." And then he continues by telling all the Israelites that anybody who has the particular skill set, that they should come and help to build the tabernacle. And everybody was supposed to drape these fine linens and all these beautiful accoutrements all over the tabernacle, and they were supposed to establish it with all of the gifts and all of the talent that the Israelites possessed. And to me, this whole Torah portion hinges on the name of the Torah portion, Vayakhel, and Moses gathered together. Because in my mind, what I've learned in the rabbinate over the past 40 years is that the way to make people feel engaged and to gather them together is by asking them to bring the gifts that their heart so moves them to bring, and the gifts of their talent, the gifts of their generosity, because the way to make people feel connected to our temple community is for them to feel like they have a personal stake in it, and for them to feel like they have an emotional connection both to the building and to the other people around them. And so that's kind of like my little trick. If I feel that somebody's, I'm giving away my rabbinic secrets here, but if I feel that somebody's drifting away and not as connected as they should be to the community, I always ask them to do something. It's kind of reverse psychology. I ask them if they can help with some aspect of the temple, and after if they are willing to do so, if they feel that generosity of their spirit in order to do some little task around the temple, before you know it, they feel that the temple is more meaningful for them, and that they feel closer to the community and closer to our spirit and closer to our values and closer to their own Jewish identity. And so recently, not because of me, but we've over the past number of years, we've had a couple of actually they're growing in number, anonymous donors who have contributed in not minor but really major ways to our community. As I said, we've got a brand new social hall floor. The chairs in our sanctuary were donated just a few years ago. Beautiful new chairs. The entire front of the temple was completely redone thanks to an anonymous donor. We've got new microphones for the bima, and lots of people are helping out with different aspects of our community. During the pandemic, it would be easy for everybody to just go to their own corner and disconnect, but just the opposite has happened. People have found ways to really personally try to find a way for them to personally connect in these new circumstances, in these unprecedented times. And so the whole key to the community of the Israelites combining together and forming a sense of community initially in the desert was having this tabernacle as a focal point that they had to connect with and they had to build themselves. And so as it was true then, and so it is true today. So I just encourage all of you to try to find a way to connect with our community, either through your generosity or bringing your particular skills, or if you want to donate money to a certain aspect of our community, that's also wonderful. And just this past week, I just remember that somebody in our community who isn't even an official member of our community did a birthday fundraiser for our temple, and his goal was to raise $200, but instead he raised over $550 for our community because his heart moved him to choose our congregation as his birthday fundraiser. So these are all ways to connect with our Jewish identity and connect with God. And one final note is that I've, over the past few weeks, connected with the Jewish community in Uganda, and I've been doing YouTube videos for them, helping them start their own YouTube channel. And just this weekend, we're going to be starting a GoFundMe page for them, and a lot of people have expressed interest in donating to that very, very poor rural Jewish community in a little town called Nasenyi in Uganda, which our congregation has supported before. So again, this is yet another way to feel connected to your Jewish identity and to help the world be a better place and to live out the values of our Jewish tradition. So that's what this week's Torah portion is all about, and I hope that we all think about how we can better connect with one another, with our tradition, our faith, and our God. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And now we're going to continue with the Aleinu on page 586. Please rise in body or spirit.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
You may be seated.
And please join me at the top of page 588.
שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבהי מרומיים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, בארץ מתחת אין עוד.
Please turn to page 591 and join me in our version of Bayom Hahu.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. אחד ושמו אחד. אחד ושמו אחד.
The introduction to the Kaddish prayer for those who have died may be found on page 599. We think now of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at the season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. We recalled Gina Rippin, who died during this past month. We had to her name the names of those whose yahrzeits or anniversary of whose deaths occur this week: Estelle Atlas, Dorothy Fass, Maurice Silver, Elaine Chimanichi, Sydney Wolpert. We also think of those now more than 1 million people in our country who have died of COVID over the past 2 years. And do you have any other names? No. And at this time, if you have names of others you'd like us to keep in our hearts or our minds as we prepare to recite the Kaddish prayer, you may say their names at this moment. Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories be for a blessing. You turn to page 598 and rise to recite the Kaddish prayer. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei Rabba, v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yamechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach l'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudesha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran b'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh Shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh Shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to our country, to all Israel and all the world, as we say together, Amen. You may be seated. And now we're going to continue with the Kiddush on pages 122 and 123. And it's all up to you.
The heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kadisho v'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher litziat mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha v'yahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
We're going to continue with the motzi. No.
Okay. Please join me. Motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
We don't need to see what's under here.
I
Trust me, it's a challah.
I realize that.
We won't say how old the challah is.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So our closing song, let's sing Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. I think it's on page 648 or so. And doesn't have too many words anyway. It's fairly familiar. And it is on page 644, actually. And our version of it, contemporary version, which also includes words to Hine Matov, which happens to be right underneath it. So I hope you will join in. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Hevenu Shalom. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Hevenu Shalom. Hine Matov Umanai Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanai Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Hevenu Shalom. Hevenu Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Hevenu, Aleichem Hevenu, Aleichem Hevenu Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Wishing you a very safe, healthy, peaceful, and Shabbat filled with a lot of time to think about how you can connect with your Jewish community and what your Jewish community can give back to you. Shabbat Shalom.